Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe.
There's a lot of talk on the Brisbane, Australia show on the show tonight, and nothing. I really think one of the things with AEW obviously is communication. Is not the best. The promotion of the event was not the best. A lot of people are really unhappy, and I don't know what they're doing. I mean, as far as the match, like the matches they've announced, it's a pretty loaded show. I mean, I know people are going like, oh God, it's Collision, like we were bamboozled. But it's like, this is, way more loaded than the usual Collision. Although I did think they announced Moxley and Claudio against Jay White and Adam Copeland. And I really do think that it should have been Moxley against Jay White, and then go with Moxley and Adam Copeland for Los Angeles. I don't really, I think that when you're going there, you really should give people a bigger show the first time in Australia, especially because a lot of people are upset, and you can just do it. There's nothing, you can do, sometimes it feels like WWE when they have a match, sometimes they'll what's the word I'm looking for? They may save certain matches, and they often do, but they always give main event matches. And it feels like Tony's afraid to beat people sometimes. So it's like you don't have the same. If you look at like the pecking order of where everybody stands, you're going to see more. AEW actually should be giving away, putting on TV, giving away. They should be putting on TV the same quality of matches as far as stars versus stars that WWE does. And they really don't. And, as number two, they probably should actually be doing bigger ones just because, you're in competition and you're the number two, so you got to produce better. And that's another issue. But this Australia thing, I just feel that they, a 2-hour television show from Australia, I really believe that they should do a 3.5, 4-hour show. And, I go, the 2 hours on TNT, and then, make it clear that there's going to be championship matches and things like that are only on Max or something, and do like a 3.5, 4-hour show. Because the people there, you go in there, I mean, there's a lot of people upset already, but I think if you give them a 3.5-hour show of main event quality matches, and you tell them that, I don't think it's that bad. But if they're going in right now with the idea it's a 2-hour Collision and that's all they're getting, and and they didn't say that going in. I know people who were mad they're not getting a pay-per-view, but it was never a pay-per-view from the very start. It was made. I don't want to say at the very start it was made clear it wasn't a pay-per-view, but I know that we reported it was not going to be a pay-per-view a long time ago. So, and Tony Khan said that as well. So people who were, long before it was moved from the stadium, it was not a pay-per-view. He very distinctly said that. Now, he didn't say, I figured it was going to be a Max special, I didn't expect it to be a Saturday Night Collision, but, that's essentially what it is. And maybe it would have been better off to just not call it Collision and just call it like a Saturday Night Special, because one of the things that I think people are negative about, and this is a real important thing with AEW, is the name Collision was such a negative to people. It didn't even matter what matches, because, like Omega and Ospreay against Takeshita and Fletcher and Tony Storm and Mariah May. I mean, those matches were announced from the start, and they're big-time matches. And I think that it's like almost like by calling it Collision, they told people they're getting like a bad show, even though they're getting a pretty good show. I mean, it's a better lineup than most Dynamites, not better than a pay-per-view. But they should have gone in there with the idea of giving a pay-per-view caliber card, and made that clear from the start that this is going to be a pay-per-view caliber card and it's going to be a 3.5, 4-hour show. And there's just no communication there, and I don't even know what they're doing, I mean, other than the matches they've announced. But if they do just go in there and do a 2-hour show for the first time in Australia, I do think that's I think it's a major PR mistake. I mean, major.
If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done, over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of the Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Brian and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang. And you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com.